timing and disruption, improvisation and preparation, positioning and perception, all coexisted in his mind. This mode of thinking is woven throughout Eastern wisdom. Zen masters pose koans, paradoxical riddles like, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" to shatter linear logic. Calligraphy masters blend movement and stillness in every brushstroke. Aikido teaches that true strength arises from embracing both firmness and flexibility. The yin-yang symbol itself embodies this unity of opposites. To cultivate your double-edged mind, choose a current dilemma. First, write down your immediate stance. Then, deliberately adopt its opposite, not to override your original thought, but to complement it. If you see an obstacle, identify the hidden opportunity. If you see strength, recognize its vulnerability. This practice multiplies your options and unveils solutions invisible to linear thinkers. Even with expanded perception, however, we remain vulnerable to a familiar foe: our own emotions. Principle 3. Emotional distance. Most people fuse with their feelings. When anger flares, they become anger. When fear grips them, they become fear. That fusion spells disaster in any high-stakes moment. Musashi insisted that victory hinges on keeping feelings and actions separate. He observed that a swordsman ruled by rage or panic loses before the first clash of steel. His signature tactic of arriving late was as much psychological warfare as tactical genius. By making Kojiro wait for hours under the sun, he stoked fury that disrupted focus. He noted, "The enemy's upset rhythm becomes your advantage. Emotions make us predictable. We react rather than respond. But when we observe feelings from a slight remove, viewing them as passing clouds rather than raging storms, we maintain clarity, spot openings, and choose our moves." To practice emotional distance, name each emotion precisely. "I notice anger rising," instead of "I am angry." That small shift creates space between stimulus and reaction. During conflict, scan your body for signals: racing heart, tense muscles, shallow breath, and simply observe them. That awareness alone often cuts an emotion's power by half. Emotional distance still requires action. Principle 4. Immediate action. When the moment arrives, strike without hesitation. Musashi wrote, "There is no gap between decision and action. Those who wait for perfect clarity never move at all." In one duel against Denemon, he saw a single split-second opening and seized it instantly, ending the fight before his opponent could react. He called this no-gap timing. To develop it, practice making small choices immediately: which route to take home, what to eat, which email to send. Notice how often you decide but delay, then close that gap. For larger decisions, use a 5-second rule. Once you commit, begin execution within 5 seconds to prevent doubt from creeping in. Even decisive action depends on where you stand. Principle 5. Strategic positioning. The victor arranges the battlefield before combat begins. Musashi chose his ground: narrow paths to neutralize wide swings, sun-setting angles to blind attackers. He wrote, "The way is in aligning with circumstances, not forcing them." Strategic positioning applies far beyond swordplay. In negotiations, choose neutral venues. In presentations, time your remarks to when your audience is freshest. In projects, marshal resources and allies before obstacles arise. Think of a go board. One stone properly placed early can dominate vast sections. In life, place yourself where success feels almost inevitable. With clarity, paradox, detachment, timing, and position aligned, you're ready to concentrate your effort. Principle 6. Single purpose. Most scatter their energy across dozens of pursuits. Masters channel everything into one vital goal. Musashi warned, "You can only fight the way you train." He practiced each art fully, one at a time, rather than dabbling in many. He advised, "From one thing, know 10,000. Immerse yourself deeply in your primary focus. List all your current commitments. Ask, if I could achieve only one of these in the next year, which would it be? Eliminate until one remains. Then establish a brief daily practice, 10 minutes of devoted work that compounds into mastery over time. Yet intense focus brings its own risk, becoming defined by a single identity or outcome. That's why Musashi's final teaching is vital. Principle 7, non-attachment. True mastery comes without clinging to result. In his later years, Musashi transcended the title of swordsman. He thrived as a painter, calligrapher, and philosopher. He wrote, "Train so your skills support all things, not just combat." He stressed giving full effort while releasing how things must unfold. Non-attachment doesn't mean indifference. It means caring deeply while surrendering the need for control. At each day's end, notice one expectation or identity you've held too tightly. Then release it with the thought, "I do my best, and I accept whatever outcome emerges." This frees you to adapt without losing momentum. Together, these 7 principles form an unbreakable system.
Strategic solitude for deep insight, double-edged mind for seeing paradox, emotional distance to stay clear, immediate action to seize the moment, strategic positioning to shape your ground, single purpose to focus power, non-attachment for adaptive freedom.
You don't need to master all at once. Even applying one consistently transforms your path. Which principle will you embrace first? Begin with 10 minutes of silence in strategic solitude. Hold 2 opposing truths in your mind. Observe your feelings without fusing with them. Act on a decision within 5 seconds. Arrange your next meeting in neutral territory. Commit daily to your single most vital goal. Then let go of how things must turn out. Musashi's wisdom has guided warriors for 4 centuries. Today, it can guide you through any challenge, career shifts, creative projects, or personal growth. Embrace these truths, and you'll move with clarity, courage, and mastery in every moment. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads in your own life, perhaps pondering a daring career pivot, a major relationship decision, or the launch of a long-held passion project. Notice how your mind races through scenarios, sounding alarms and manufacturing anxieties. Now pause, breathe. Recall Musashi's practice of strategic solitude. Step away from the noise, even for 10 minutes, and let that stillness reveal the patterns waiting beneath. In that silence, ask yourself, what would I attempt if failure weren't an option? Next, channel the double-edged mind. If 2 opposing truths could coexist, what would they be? Maybe your desire for security clashes with your yearning for adventure. Hold both without judgment. See how they inform each other and create a richer picture. Then test emotional distance. If anger surfaces at a colleague's criticism, label it, "I notice frustration." Feel the shift as you reclaim your calm. Practice no-gap timing on a small scale. Send that overdue follow-up email immediately. Strategically position your workspace. Clear clutter so creativity flows. Focus on a single purpose. Identify the one project that will move the needle most. Finally,